Hello friends, in this video we are going to be going over yesterday's math review. So this is a perfect chance for you to go and get your math review from yesterday and self-assess your work. So let's go ahead and start with the first question, which reads, which of these is equal to 25,973? So we get four choices. What we want to do is we want to go through each of these and actually work them out so that we can find what each choice gives us, the number that it would give us in standard form. So we have 25,000. So let's go ahead and write what that would look like. That would look like 25 and thousands. We're going to add 3 zeros. 973 hundreds. Well, hundreds, I know that would have to be 973, and then I would have to add 2 zeros. So that would give us a lot more than the number we're actually looking for. So we can eliminate A. Let's go ahead and try B now. We have 259 hundredths. So that would be, I'm just going to write it over here, 259 hundredths would be 2 zeros. Then I have 7 tens, so 7 and 1 0 and 3 ones. Okay, if we add all of this up, that would give us the number that we are actually looking for. So that one looks good. Now let's go through the other choices just to make sure we didn't make a mistake. We have 2,500. So 2,500, we're going to go ahead and work that out again. Add 2 zeros. 97 tens. So 97. Okay, and we're going to add a 0 over here for tens. And then we have 3 ones. So already we can see that this is way less than what we're looking for. So we can eliminate it, because when we add this is about adding 25,000 plus another, I'm estimating another 10,000. So that would give us 3,600, which is not what we're looking here. We're looking for 25,973. So we can eliminate C. D gives us 25 10,000s. Okay, so we're adding more zeros now. Whoa, that gives us 250,000. That's way more than what we're looking for over here. So we can already eliminate D. So the best choice is B. If you got B, go ahead and give yourself a check for right. If you didn't, that is okay. We're learning from our mistakes. And then maybe tomorrow you'll get this type of question right. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at question number 2. Nina picked 8 tomatoes last month. Okay, she picked 4 times as many tomatoes this month than last month. Oh, I see that we're comparing last month to this month. And how many tomatoes did Nina pick in the 2 months? And then we would have to add last month and this month. All right, so let's go ahead and read it again, and this time we're going to organize our facts. So we have Nina who picked 8 tomatoes last month. So I'm just going to write here, LM, last month, she picked 8 tomatoes. She picked 4 times as many tomatoes this month than she did last month. So this month is already way more than last month. So I'm just going to write TM for this month. This month, it's 4 times as many tomatoes as last month. And we know last month from up here, so we can just write 8. Okay, so if we multiply 4 times 8, that would give us 32. Now the final question is, how many tomatoes did Nina pick in the 2 months? So that would be 32 plus 8, which would give us a total of 40 tomatoes. Sounds like a really nice garden there. So let's check off right. If you didn't get it right, go ahead and make a revision now. Okay, let's move it along to the next number. To the next question. When a certain number is divided by 5, when a certain number meaning we don't know the number, the answer is 45 with a remainder of 2. What is the number? So I see that it's telling us that when something is divided, we get a quotient, a very specific quotient they give us. And now we're trying to find that number that was divided at first. So one thing we could do is work backwards. Well, let's go ahead and read it again. When a certain number, meaning we don't know this number, this is what we're trying to find, is divided by 5, the answer is 45 with a remainder of 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that 45 and let's work backwards. We're going to take that quotient, we're going to multiply by 5. 5 times 5 would give us 25. Regroup the 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2. We get 22. And now I'm going to add the remainder. which would give us 227D. Go ahead and make a revision now, or check off right if you got it right. Okay, let's move on to the next question, a comparing fractions question. It reads, the length of a ribbon is 3/4 of a foot and another ribbon is 5/6 of a foot. Compare the lengths using less than, greater than, or equal to. So we have 3/4 and we're comparing 3/4 to 5/6. So I can already see that both of these fractions are greater than a half. I can also see that they have different denominators. But something else that I noticed about this fraction is very close to a whole thing. I only need 1/4 to get there. And this is also very close to a whole. I need 1/6 to get there. So I am going to use my strategy of benchmark fractions. So I just drew a number line down here and I'm labeling it with my benchmark fractions. So both of these fractions belong after the half. Now 3/4, that's, I need 1/4 to get to 1, and 5/6 I need 1/6. So I already know that 1/6 is less than a fourth. It's a smaller amount. So that would mean that 3/4 would be around here and 5/6 would be around here. So to get from 3/4 to 1, you need 1/4. But to get from 5/6 to 1, you need 1/6. Okay? So that would mean that from 5/6 to 1, you need less amount, a less amount. So that would mean that 5/6 is already greater than 3/4. Let's go ahead and do that. So we know that 3/4 is less than 5/6. Later on this week, I can show you a different strategy of renaming these fractions to have the same denominator. But for now, we're using the benchmark fraction. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Sam multiplies the fraction by 4/4. Which statement is true about the product? Okay, so Sam multiplies a fraction. So they must be talking about this fraction. Let's find out what this fraction is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts shaded out of 8 parts. 7 out of 8. So we're taking this 7 out of 8 and we're multiplying it by 4/4. Well, I know that 4/4 is equal to 1. So if I take 7/8 and I multiply it by 1, anything multiplied by 1 is that number itself, that factor itself. So I'm still going to get 7/8. So let's look at these statements. The product is greater than 4/4. Well, 7/8 is not greater than 1. So we can say that is wrong. The product is equivalent to 4/4. Well, 7/8 is not equal to 1. So we can eliminate that. The product is greater than the fraction shown by the model. Actually, this product is the same as shown in the model, so we can eliminate that. The fraction is equivalent to the fraction shown by the model. Well, let's see, is this fraction equal to that? Yes, it is. So now we know that D is correct. I'm going to check off right. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the last question, which is a question that requires us to have a protractor. If you don't have a protractor at home and you weren't able to do this question, that's okay. I'm just going to go over the steps so you know how to use a protractor, which is an important skill that you will need again when you get to 6th grade. So let's go ahead and read it. Draw a 175-degree angle. Well, I know that one of the things that we do first is to label the type of angle that we're about to draw. We know this is an obtuse angle, so I'm just going to write obtuse angle, which I know is more than 90 degrees, and I already can see that 175, that's super close to 180. So this angle is pretty wide. It's going to be almost straight as a line. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this with the protractor. Okay, so I just wanted a bigger space for us to work with. So I'm just going to put down a protractor. First, I make sure that I can read the words made in China, which I can because that would mean I'm holding it the correct way. Okay, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to start with this cross over here, which marks the midpoint of my protractor, and I'm going to draw a dot for my vertex. Okay, then I'm going to draw the first arm of my angle, and I'm going to bring down over here and line this up. This cross should be lined up exactly. Perfect. Now here's 90 degrees. if I look at the measurements that come before, I would be drawing an acute angle. We just said that 175 is an obtuse angle, so I'm going to have to be going the other way, right? So now I know that 175 is between 170 and 180, so I'm going to look for that measurement. So that would be, all the way over here. Be careful because a lot of times a common error would be that you would put 175 between 160 and 170 because you see the 170 here, but this actually is less than 175. 175 has to be between 170 and 180. So we're going to find the midpoint mark right here, halfway between 170 and 180. We're going to put a dot right there to mark our other angle. Right there. To mark where our other arm of the angle will finish. And now we're going to remove our protractor and we're going to play a game of connect the dots. So let's go ahead and connect the dots. Okay, and yep, pretty obtuse, almost like a straight line. I'm going to label that this is 175 degrees. All right, guys, now we're going to start going over our POD from yesterday. And remember that today I'm just going to model how I closely read the problem and organize our facts. And then tomorrow we'll finish solving it. So we have Adam, Clara, and Dina painted a treehouse. Cool, sounds like fun. Adam spent 2 times as many minutes painting as Clara. Okay, so Adam seems to spend more time than Clara. Clara spent 30 more minutes painting than Dina. Okay, so Clara spent more time than Dina. And Dina spent 45 minutes painting. So they're giving us these facts as bullet points. What is the total number of minutes that Adam, Clara, and Dina spent painting the treehouse? So I noticed that we have our 3 characters here, and they were all motivated. They did different things. They each spent a different amount of minutes painting this treehouse. So we first have to find out how many minutes Adam painted, Clara painted. We know Dina, and then we have to find the total. So now I'm going to read it again, and this time I'm going to mark it up. So Adam spent 2 times, so that would mean 2 times, times I know means multiplication, as many minutes as Clara, okay, so as Clara, and Clara spent 30 more, more, I know that more means I'm adding, than Dina, and Dina spent 45 minutes, alright, and then we're finding what is the total number of minutes that Adam, Clara, and Dina spent, so then we're finding the total. So let's go ahead and organize our facts down here. So we have Adam, A for Adam. He spent 2 times as much as Clara. I'm going to put C for Clara. Clara spent 30 more minutes than Dina. I'm going to put D for Dina. And Dina spent 45 minutes. So now let's line up a plan. I think first I want to find out what, we already know Dina, so it makes sense for us to find Clara next. So we're going to find Clara. After we find Clara, we can substitute that amount over here so we can find Adam. And our third step would be to find the total of all 3. So I'm going to add Adam plus Clara plus Dina. D for Dina. Alright guys, join me tomorrow so we can go over this math review and POD. Good job everybody!